Hi, I'm Sylvia at opencircles.net. I recently had a conversation with someone about the 2.2 million women that left the workplace over the past year. And depending on how you saw that article, it was printed a lot of places, they may have said that women left the workplace, abandoned it, were pushed out of the workplace. So I actually did some research to understand what happened. And there's a fair amount of talk out there, but there's a couple of good research pieces, one by RAND and one by the US Census Bureau. So what we know is that Asian, Black, and Hispanic women were most impacted by this. Women who worked in the service sector were way more impacted than women from other industries. And we also found that women whose oldest child was between 2 and 6 were most impacted. Now, the US Census Bureau indicated that by early 2021, about 50% of those women had started to return to the workplace, largely because of the workplaces opening up, the economy opening up. And I have to note, there's some pretty significant pay and financial disparities that are going to impact that group. But there was some other information that came out of the studies I did. And it was around the women who weren't pushed out or the women who weren't furloughed over, let's say, the last year or portions of the last year. Women who had young children at home who could maybe not go to daycare and or could not go to school. Now, those women were also very significantly impacted. A lot of them said they didn't get any support from their employer. They didn't get any support from their manager. In fact, one woman tells a story of not being able to mention what was going on with her manager. She had tried it once, it just didn't go well. So as she's having Zoom meetings, she's having to push her kids out of the room, put, the video on mute. She had no flexibility in her work. And she's not the only one who this happened to. So, I ask employers, what do we think is going to happen? Will these employees just get over what happened at some point and just keep working for you? Or will they seek employment elsewhere? For many of us who have left a job at some point, there's always that one thing where we think, this is the thing that tells me for sure this is not the place for me to work. So I think employers need to be focused and thinking about a couple of questions. One is, what will your employees think about you as an employer having gone through this crisis? And the second thing is, how will this impact your ability to maintain and attract women into your workforce? Now, a good way to get a sense of that is to conduct an audit of your women and family health and well-being and support programs. So if you haven't done that, it's a good time to do it. It starts with first looking at what those programs are. A lot of you are using outside vendors as well. So what do those programs provide? How many people are using it? Is it accessible? What's the ROI? Really digging into it a little bit. The other part of it is understanding the needs of women and families in your population, in your workforce. Some of you may have survey information that you can pull from. You may have focus or affinity groups that you could ask, or individuals in the organization who have been impacted. Those two things to get together give you a really good idea of your current state. And from there, you're able to devise and put together and move forward with a good strategy to actually support women and families in your workplace. So if you have any questions about that, you like to bounce some things off me, feel free to contact me. We also conduct those audits at Open Circles, or you contact me at opencircles.net, and I can talk to you about what that would look like for your population. You know, we'd love to be there and be able to help you have a healthy and motivated and engaged workforce. So contact me. I'm Sylvia at opencircles.net.